Hello, all, and welcome to this evening's. Well, I was middle of the not middle of the night. It's 8:30, so it's not quite evening, but it's not quite the middle of the night either. It's nighttime. But we are doing a review, and what are we reviewing? We are reviewing Okolehao. Now, I've reviewed this once before, about 7 or 8 years ago, maybe even more actually. So it's been quite some time since I reviewed it. And I'm going to be reviewing the same brand today. And why am I reviewing the same brand? Because I've heard from other drinkers that recently or within the past few years, the flavor they feel has changed somewhat. Um, and maybe the mash bill has changed. Don't know. Don't know what the original mash bill was. But getting the bottle, I can tell you that the bottle has changed. Originally, the bottle was this nice stoneware bottle with a flip top cap, and it was really nice. This is a glass bottle, opaque coloration. It looks like glass bottle has been painted to look like a stoneware bottle. And I'm not going to go and hit them on that. Honestly, a stoneware bottle is probably the most expensive type of bottling that you can get, other than those little fancy design bottles and everything, or gold embossing on like special editions of Hennessy or what have you. So yeah, if you want to keep the price stable in this age of increasing prices, then yeah, something's got to change. And so I'm not going to hit them for changing the bottle. As you can see, I haven't popped it yet, so can't really tell you if it's changed by my opinion. But yeah, this is from Island Distillers in Honolulu. And interesting fact, this the last time I reviewed this was the only time like the producer of the product actually responded in the comments to the video. So, thanks, guy. Um, Glad to see that you're still around making Okolehao. And yeah, let's go and read the bottle, shall we? So cane and tea root spirit. Tea not is Ti, not TEA. And tea is a plant that's widespread throughout Polynesia. It's used for a large variety of purposes, but in the case of Okolehao, the root corm is used. It's this massive thing that grows underground if you let it grow for several years, which most people don't because they harvest it a lot earlier. But that's roasted and the sugars are caramelized, and it's used as part of the mash for to make Okolehao. Nowadays, the vast majority of the mash is raw sugarcane, though there was no real standard, recipe for this. The pretty much the only rule was that tea root had to be included as part of it. You could use sugarcane, you could use rice, you could use pineapple, you could use whatever fruit you had. Basically, just whatever you could get to ferment and then distill. Now, label on the back is still Hawaiian. You can see here. And they don't have the kahakos and okinas, so I'm probably going to slaughter this reading. It's actually, to the historian, it's kind of a fake historical print here, but if you go and read old Hawaiian documents, it was kind of assumed that you would be fluent in Hawaiian and you wouldn't need the kahakos and okinas printed to know exactly how to go and read off what was printed. Same way we don't need phonetical marks over our English to know how to read it aloud. So that's not the case nowadays. Most modern Hawaiian is printed with okinas and kahakos. Okina being a glottal stop mark and kahako being macron, which changes things from a short vowel to a long vowel. But it's already 5 minutes, so I've kind of rambled on for long enough. This is going to be quite the long video. But I do want to go and give it my best shot here at reading the back in Hawaiian. Because, like most people in Hawaii, especially people like me who are of part Hawaiian blood, we have taken some Hawaiian culture and language classes. So it's kind of shameful that I can't really read that well. But let me go and read it. He mamo ke ia aka Okolehao kaulana I aloha nui ia e na ali'i a kanaka Hawaii mai ka makahiki, and I don't know how to read numbers in Hawaiian, so 1790 mai. Me ke akahele a me ka hoihi ana I kona la lani kahiko hana lima ia maila ke ia lama ono mikioi mikioi, don't know what that is. Me na pono o I loa I hiki ai. So basically, it's just I can't give you a full translation. It basically said this Okolehao was first made for people of Hawaii, chiefs and people of Hawaii in 1790. Something ancient times, made with care. Yeah. Anyways, without much further ado, let's go and pop this open. So they still use, well, that's nice. So it's not the flip top anymore, but they use a wooden cap. Classy. Pouring it into a Glencairn. Now this is 100 proof. It's Hawaii's moonshine. Yeah, it's going to be rocket fuel. Aguardiente, as it were. Clear as a whistle. Clearer than water. Strong smell of ethanol. Kind of sweet, almost pressed sugarcane smell. Strong grassy herbaceousness. Some fruity notes here and there. But, unsurprisingly, mostly alcohol. I haven't eaten anything for several hours, so this is going to go straight to my head, just giving a warning here. Last time I had this, it had a kick. It kicks a hell of a lot more now. I'm not sure if it's because of recipe change or if I'm becoming much more of a wussy man, but damn, does it kick. Whew, kicks like a mule. And yeah, burns in the mouth, burns on the tonsils, burns on the way down, and burns in the gut. You can feel it there, the heat. This is like the opposite of smooth drinking. But this is moonshine. So, this is as close as you can get to actual moonshine, not like commercialized Babby's First moonshine. In that they're using some wild stuff to go and, distill it. tea leaf root and sugarcane, I believe, is the vast majority of this. Pressed sugarcane juice, tea leaf root, roast tea leaf root, and sugarcane. So it's actually not that hot immediately on the tongue. It's like a hot sauce. It kind of kicks in slowly. What you get first is a very sugary sweetness, and then you know a bunch of other flavors come in, and then the mule kick comes, pack, and all those flavors kind of like whoa. The mule kick kind of goes and clears your palate of the flavors, not because it's clearing your actual palate, because it's giving you a punch to the head or kick to the head. Yeah, so on the palate, into the mids before it really starts getting fiery, you've got pressed sugarcane juice, some vegetal notes. Really hard to place vegetal notes. It's not like you can say, oh, this is greenery, or oh, this is herbs of some sort. No, it's just like vegetation. And this is not a hit against it. Oh boy, I'm just feeling that burn in my throat and stomach right now. Don't drink this on an empty stomach, folks. The top note is of alcohol fumes. Forgot to mention the legging here. Fairly thin legging, which is pretty odd. I think this actually has pretty high sugar content in it. You know, I, I I'm actually gonna call it a night after this, man. This goes straight to the head, yo. Especially on an empty stomach. Okay, let's go and finish this review first, okay? There's some unpleasant, like almost chemical notes in the mid palate. Probably byproducts of the distillation process. It's not to say that this is, poorly distilled. It's just that what they're distilling is so out there, and so crazy that it's going to have some taste notes that take some time to get used to. You know what I mean? It's rocket fuel, man. I mean, this isn't Hennessy. If you're drinking this expecting Hennessy, I don't know what's wrong with you. You're drinking this to drink like my ancestors did long ago, and I can't complete that sentence. So yeah, okay, but I'm getting distracted. Almost 15 minutes in, I need to go and get this done with. So let's try to get to the finish now, shall we? Focus, focus. Iron will. Why am I doing duck mouths when I'm sipping this? Yeah, still pretty much sugarcane in the finish. Sugar, pressed sugarcane, vegetation. It's kind of pretty much the same flavor throughout the entire thing. But hey, what can I say? Now, some people kind of compare this to rum. I wouldn't say it really compares to rum unless you're talking about like cachaca or other types of aguardiente, stuff that's brewed from raw sugarcane juices. It has no real parallel to the flavors that you're going to get even from like white rum that's made from molasses. No, this is something that tastes like something you would get from distilled from raw sugarcane juice, and that's perfectly fine. I should say it tastes closer to that. There's that there's that vegetal edge, that 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 strange taste that probably is derived from the tea root, you know, that neither here nor there-ness, I suppose I should call it. That certain je ne sais quoi, if I may be, if you may excuse my French. Yes, a certain je ne sais quoi. I should probably see if I can get through this entire thing. And when I go and do those beer reviews, it doesn't go into my system as fast as this. And like I said, with the liquor reviews, I usually try to go and eat a little bit beforehand. Eat dinner beforehand. This, I wanted to go and demonstrate the key properties of Okolehao. The key properties of moonshine is getting you walloped as fast as possible, as soon as possible, as quick as possible, with as little as possible. And this rates 9 out of 10 for that. Short of drinking Everclear, but if you're drinking Everclear, you got problems, brohan. Yeah. In summation, if you're expecting something smooth, this ain't it. If you're expecting something of great complexity, this ain't it. If you're expecting something that's not going to have some challenging notes to it, oh, hell no. This ain't it. If you're expecting to try a little bit of classic, very classic, post-contact, I'm going to have to go and say here, post-contact, wine culture, this is a real deal. And if you're looking for something to get you good for the rest of the night off of a single glass, this is also the real deal. Yeah, dang, man. I think this is one of the longest reviews I ever did. So let's go and wrap it up by, don't be afraid to shoot this down. It was what it was meant to do. Shoot it down, make your voice lower, sing a Johnny Cash song. Because God knows I fell into that burning ring of fire. I fell down, down, down. I don't drink some more because I don't need to get no higher. And it burns, burns, burns. That ring of fire. That ring of fire. That ring of fire. Okay, so this has probably been the most embarrassing review that I've done in a very, very long time. Short of the time I did a review that had a booger come out of my nose. Yeah, I'm surprised nobody ever commented about that. I uploaded it anyway because I didn't realize it until later, but yeah. So, That's your Okolehao review. And let me tell you, this is not the end, but this is the beginning of the story. And more is to come. You bet it. You bet it, Brohan. You bet it. Why am I speaking with an accent? I don't know. I should be speaking with one pigeon accent, brother. Yeah, that's the kind of accent I need. God, that's a terrible, terrible pigeon accent. Well, my camera's gone blurry. That means past 20 minutes. It means it's time for me to bid you a fond farewell and an aloha oe.